What if the fruits you're eating every day are silently destroying your leg strength, and you don't even know it? I'm Der Harold, a 68-year-old physician who's spent 40 years helping seniors like you stay mobile, independent, and strong. And today, I'm sounding the alarm on 5 fruits that could be stealing your ability to walk, climb stairs, or even stand without pain. Picture Ruth, 68, standing at the edge of her driveway one crisp morning, her golden retriever, Max, wagging his tail, eager for their daily walk, a ritual Ruth had cherished for years, the fresh air filling her lungs, the rhythm of her steps a comfort. At 68, Ruth had always been active. She loved walking Max, tending to her garden, climbing the stairs to her bedroom without a second thought. But that morning, as she took her first step, her legs buckled beneath her, a sharp pain shooting through her knees, her body lurching forward, her hands grasping at the air as she nearly fell to the ground, Max barking in alarm. She caught herself on the mailbox, her heart pounding, her brown eyes wide with fear, her legs trembling as if they'd given up on her. Ruth sat on her porch, her breath shaky, her mind racing. She'd noticed her legs weakening for months, the stairs harder to climb, her walks with Max shorter each day, but now she couldn't even take a step without pain. She feared she'd lose her mobility, her independence, everything that made her feel alive. I've seen this too many times. After 60, your leg strength declines due to sarcopenia, a natural muscle loss that affects 1 in 3 seniors, especially women, and the wrong foods can make it worse, inflaming your muscles, weakening your nerves, even interacting with your medications to destroy your legs. When Ruth came to my clinic, her voice trembling as she said, "Dr. Harold, I can't walk Max anymore. I'm scared I'll end up in a wheelchair." I knew I had to help. I'm sharing the fruits you need to stop eating right now, because they're silently destroying your leg strength, threatening your mobility, your independence, your life. If you want to stay mobile after 60, give this video a like. I'd love to know you're with me on this journey. The first fruit Ruth had to stop eating was grapefruit, a hidden danger that was interacting with her medications and weakening her legs with every bite. I explained that grapefruit contains compounds called furanocoumarins, which block an enzyme in your body that breaks down certain medications, like statins. Medications 1 in 4 seniors take for cholesterol. After 60, this interaction can cause a dangerous buildup of the drug in your system, leading to muscle breakdown, a condition called rhabdomyolysis, which can make your legs weak, painful, even unusable. Ruth thought of her friend Susan, 70, from her walking group in Texas who'd shared a heartbreaking story over coffee. Susan had been eating grapefruit every morning, not knowing it was interacting with her statin, until one day her legs gave out on a walk, the pain so severe she couldn't stand, ending up in the hospital with muscle damage, her voice breaking as she said, "I can't walk without a cane now. I wish I'd known." Ruth felt a chill. She'd been eating grapefruit with her breakfast for years, thinking it was healthy, not knowing it was working against her statin, her legs paying the price. She stopped eating grapefruit that day, switching to a safer fruit like blueberries, which are packed with antioxidants but won't harm her meds, and within weeks, the pain in her legs started to ease, her steps a little steadier. If you're on medications like statins, stop eating grapefruit. Replace it with blueberries or apples, and talk to your doctor to keep your legs strong. For Ruth, it was the first step to saving her mobility, a wake-up call she couldn't ignore. The second fruit Ruth had to avoid was pineapple, a sugary trap that was inflaming her muscles and making her legs weaker every day. I told her that pineapple is high in natural sugars, with about 16 grams per cup. And after 60, your body doesn't handle sugar as well. Those spikes in blood glucose can cause inflammation in your muscles, breaking them down faster, especially in your legs, where you need strength to walk and stand. Inflammation also worsens conditions like arthritis, which 1 in 2 seniors have, making every step a struggle. Ruth remembered a moment at her senior center in Florida, watching her friend Tom, 69, wince as he stood up after eating pineapple at a potluck, his knees swollen, his voice strained as he said, "I thought pineapple was good for me, but my legs hurt more every time I eat it." Ruth had nodded, saying, "I've been eating it too. Maybe that's why my knees ache." She thought of the pineapple chunks she'd been snacking on, the sweet taste masking the damage, and felt a knot in her stomach. She'd been inflaming her legs without knowing it. She stopped eating pineapple, opting for low-sugar fruits like raspberries, which have anti-inflammatory benefits. And within days, the swelling in her knees started to subside, her walks with Max a little longer. Cut out pineapple from your diet. Choose low-sugar fruits like raspberries or strawberries to reduce inflammation and protect your leg strength. For Ruth, it was like turning off a fire in her legs, giving her hope she could walk Max again without pain. Ruth stood on her porch the next morning, her golden retriever, Max, wagging his tail beside her, the sun warming her face as she took a cautious step forward, her legs feeling a little steadier, the pain in her knees less sharp than before. At 68, she was starting to feel hope again. She'd stopped eating grapefruit, saving her legs from her statin's dangerous interaction, and ditched pineapple, reducing the inflammation that had made every step a struggle. She managed a short walk with Max, just to the end of her driveway, her heart lifting as he barked happily, her steps slow but steady, a small victory that made her smile. But as she sat on her porch swing, sipping her morning tea, she thought about the other fruits in her kitchen, the ones she'd always thought were healthy, and a flicker of fear crept in. What if they were still destroying her legs, threatening her dream of walking Max around the block again? I'm Dr. Harold, a 68-year-old physician, and I've seen too many seniors like Ruth lose their mobility to the wrong foods they think are good for them, but are silently destroying their leg strength while they eat. After 60, your body is more vulnerable. Your muscles break down faster, your blood sugar spikes more easily, and your kidneys struggle to balance nutrients, making certain fruits a hidden danger to your legs. When Ruth called me that morning, her voice hopeful but cautious as she said, "Dr. Harold, I walked Max a little today, but I'm still scared. What else should I avoid?" I knew we had to keep going. I'm sharing the next 2 fruits you need to stop eating right now because they're silently destroying your leg strength, stealing your mobility, your independence, your life. The third fruit Ruth had to stop eating was mango, a sugary trap that was spiking her blood sugar and breaking down her leg muscles with every bite. I explained that mangoes are high in natural sugars, with about 24 grams per cup, and after 60, your body doesn't handle sugar spikes as well. Those spikes cause insulin surges that break down muscle tissue, especially in your legs, where you need strength to walk and stand. This muscle breakdown, combined with sarcopenia, can make your legs weaker, shakier, increasing your fall risk. Falls that injure 1 in 4 seniors each year, often leading to a loss of independence. As I spoke, Ruth's mind drifted back to a family picnic last summer. the memory vivid as if it were yesterday. She'd been sitting under a tree with her daughter, the grass soft beneath them, a bowl of mango chunks between them. The sweet, juicy fruit a treat on that hot day. She'd eaten handful after handful, laughing with her daughter, not noticing how her legs felt heavier as the day went on, how she'd struggled to stand when it was time to leave, her knees buckling, her daughter catching her arm, concern in her eyes as she'd said, "Mom, are you okay?" Ruth had brushed it off, but now she realized that mango had been silently working against her, the sugar spikes breaking down her leg muscles, her mobility slipping away with every bite. She thought of her friend Clara, 67, from her gardening club in California, who'd stopped eating mangoes after her doctor warned her about sugar spikes, saying, "I can climb my stairs again. I didn't realize mangoes were making me so weak." Ruth looked at the mango in her fruit bowl, its bright orange flesh a deceptive promise, and felt a surge of determination. She wasn't going to let it steal her legs. She stopped eating mangoes, switching to low-sugar fruits like blackberries, which support muscle health without the sugar spikes, and within days, her legs felt less shaky, her steps a little stronger. If you're eating mangoes, stop, no. Replace them with blackberries or kiwi to protect your leg strength and keep your mobility. For Ruth, it was like rewriting that picnic memory, giving her legs a chance to heal, a chance to walk Max a little farther. The fourth fruit Ruth had to avoid was cherries, a potassium-packed danger that could overload her kidneys and weaken her legs in a heartbeat. I told her that cherries are high in potassium, with about 300 milligrams per cup, and while potassium is good in moderation, too much can lead to hyperkalemia, especially for seniors with kidney issues. 1 in 5 seniors over 60 have reduced kidney function, and excess potassium can cause muscle weakness, irregular heartbeats, even paralysis in your legs, making every step a risk. As I explained, Ruth's mind conjured a vivid image, as if a storm was brewing inside her body, her kidneys like a dam, struggling to hold back a flood of potassium from the cherries she'd been eating, the flood waters rising, her leg muscles trembling under the strain, the storm threatening to break through, leaving her legs paralyzed, unable to move, unable to walk Max, her independence washed away in an instant. That image shook her to her core. She thought of her neighbor, George, 01, from Michigan, who'd ended up in the ER last year after eating too many cherries. His potassium level so high his legs wouldn't move, his voice shaky as he'd told her, "I couldn't stand for 2 days. I thought I'd never walk again." Ruth felt her heart race. She'd been snacking on cherries every evening, thinking they were a healthy treat, not knowing they were a storm waiting to strike. She stopped eating cherries, opting for low-potassium fruits like apples, which are safe for her kidneys, and within a week, the trembling in her legs eased, her walks with Max feeling safer. If you have kidney issues, stop eating cherries. Choose low-potassium fruits like apples or pears to keep your legs strong and your body balanced. For Ruth, it was like calming the storm inside her, knowing her legs were safe from the flood. Ruth was starting to see her mobility return. Each fruit she avoided a step closer to walking Max around the block again. Each change a victory over the dangers hiding in her kitchen. But there was still one more fruit to go, one more threat lurking in her diet, waiting to destroy her legs. If you're finding this helpful, I'd love for you to subscribe. It means we can keep protecting your mobility together, and I'd hate for you to miss the final fruit that could save your legs. Ruth walked to the end of her street with Max, her golden retriever trotting happily beside her, the morning air crisp, her legs feeling stronger than they had in months. At 68, she was starting to believe she could reclaim her mobility. She'd stopped eating grapefruit, saving her legs from her statin's dangerous interaction, ditched pineapple to reduce inflammation, avoided mangoes to prevent sugar spikes, and cut out cherries to protect her kidneys from a potassium overload. Each fruit she removed was a step closer to her dream of walking Max around the block again. Her steps steadier, her knees less painful, her heart lighter as she watched Max sniff the grass, his tail wagging. But as she sat on a bench to rest, her mind wandered to the fruit bowl on her kitchen counter. The starfruit she'd bought at the market last week, its bright yellow shape a tempting treat, and a flicker of doubt crept in. What if it was still destroying her legs, threatening her progress, her dream? I'm Der Harold, a 68-year-old physician, and I've seen seniors like Ruth lose their leg strength to fruits they thought were safe, fruits that silently destroy their mobility while they eat. After 60, your body is more fragile. Your nerves are more sensitive. Your muscles break down faster, and a single wrong fruit can turn your legs against you, making every step a risk. When Ruth called me that morning, her voice hopeful but cautious as she said, "Dr. Harold, I walked farther with Max today, but I'm still worried. What else should I avoid?" I knew we had one more fruit to tackle. I'm sharing the final fruit you need to stop eating right now, because it's silently destroying your leg strength, threatening your mobility, your independence, your life. The fifth fruit Ruth had to avoid was starfruit, a toxic danger that could damage her nerves and leave her legs too weak to walk. I explained that starfruit contains a neurotoxin called caramboxin, which is especially dangerous for seniors with kidney issues. 1 in 5 seniors over 60 have reduced kidney function, and their bodies can't filter out this toxin, leading to nerve damage that causes muscle weakness, tremors, even paralysis in your legs, making you unable to stand or walk. In severe cases, starfruit toxicity can be fatal, with studies showing it can cause neurological symptoms in as little as 2 hours. That night, as Ruth lay in bed, she drifted into a dream, her mind conjuring a chilling scene. Her bedroom was overtaken by a creeping vine, its tendrils shaped like starfruit, their yellow forms glowing faintly, wrapping around her legs, tightening with every second, her muscles trembling, her nerves burning as the vine whispered, "You'll never walk again." In her dream, she tried to stand, but her legs wouldn't move, the vine's grip suffocating, her heart racing as she saw Max waiting by the door, his barks fading as her mobility slipped away. Her brown eyes wide with panic as she realized she was losing everything. She woke with a gasp, her heart pounding, her legs tingling as if the dream had left its mark. The starfruit on her counter, now a symbol of danger. She thought of her friend Margaret, 70, from her church group in Georgia, who had shared a terrifying story over tea. Margaret had eaten starfruit at a friend's house, not knowing her kidneys couldn't handle it, and ended up in the ER with leg tremors, her voice shaky as she'd said, "I couldn't walk for days. I thought I'd be paralyzed." Ruth felt a chill. She'd been slicing starfruit into her salads, thinking it was a healthy choice, not knowing it was a vine creeping through her body ready to strike. She threw out the starfruit that morning, replacing it with safe fruits like strawberries, which are low in toxins and support nerve health, and within days, the tingling in her legs faded, her walks with Max feeling safer. If you have kidney issues, never eat starfruit. Replace it with strawberries or blueberries to protect your nerves and keep your legs strong. For Ruth, it was like cutting away that creeping vine, freeing her legs, her mobility, her dream of walking Max without fear. Ruth sat on her porch the next morning, Max curled up beside her, the sun rising over her street, her legs feeling stronger, her heart full of hope. She'd faced 5 fruits that had been silently destroying her leg strength, each one a battle, each one a victory. And now, she felt more mobile, more confident, more alive than she had in years. But her journey wasn't over. She had one more step to take, a final reflection that would cement her transformation and inspire you to do the same. If you're ready to protect your leg strength, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to keep helping you stay mobile because you deserve to walk, to move, to live with confidence at 60, 70, and beyond. Ruth walked around the block with Max, her golden retriever bounding ahead, the morning sun casting long shadows on the sidewalk, her legs steady, her knees pain-free, a smile spreading across her face as she kept pace with him, something she hadn't done in years. At 68, she'd fought a battle she didn't even know she was in, facing 5 fruits that had been silently destroying her leg strength, threatening her mobility, her independence, her life. I'm Dr. Harold, a 68-year-old physician, and I've walked with Ruth through this journey, helping her stop eating grapefruit, which interacted with her meds, pineapple, which inflamed her muscles, mangoes, which spiked her blood sugar, cherries, which overloaded her kidneys, and starfruit, which threatened her nerves with toxic damage. After 60, your legs are your lifeline. They keep you moving, walking, living the life you love, and the wrong fruits can turn them against you, stealing your strength, your freedom, your joy. Ruth sat on her porch that morning, Max curled up at her feet, a notebook in her lap, a pen in her hand, her brown eyes soft with emotion as she began to write a letter to Max, reflecting on the journey that had changed everything. "Dear Max," she wrote, "you've been my best friend, my walking buddy, my reason to keep going, but I was losing you, losing our walks, losing myself, because my legs were giving up on me. I didn't know grapefruit was working against my medicine, that pineapple was inflaming my knees, that mangoes were breaking down my muscles, that cherries were a storm in my body, that starfruit was a vine creeping through my nerves, ready to take my legs away. I was scared, Max. I thought I'd never walk you again, never feel the grass under my feet, never keep up with your wagging tail. But I fought back. I listened to Der Harold. I stopped eating those fruits and I found safer ones that let my legs heal, let my strength return. Now, we're walking around the block again, your barks filling my heart, my legs strong, my life mine again. I did this for us, Max, and I'll never let those fruits take you away from me." She set her pen down, a tear rolling down her cheek, her hand resting on Max's head, his warm fur a comfort, her heart full as she looked at the street they'd conquered together, her legs no longer a source of fear, but a source of pride. You can have this, too. Your legs can be strong, your walks can be joyful, your life can be yours again at 60, 70, and beyond. I've seen it in Ruth. I've seen it in my patients, and I know you can do it. Start today. Check your diet for these 5 fruits, stop eating them, and replace them with safer options. Because you deserve to walk, to move, to live without fear. If Ruth's story has inspired you, I'd love for you to share this video with someone you care about. It could save their mobility, just like it saved hers. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. I'd love to keep helping you protect your leg strength, because your mobility, your independence, your life is worth it.